This tool is used to create delicate curves, flower petals, and leaf designs. The operator is carefully changing the tool, setting the Z-axis again. The machine is checking again whether the tool is in the correct position. Everything is ready. Now the real carving will begin. The machine slowly descends onto the wood. Now watch, the flower petals are being cut. The speed of the tool changes with each curve. One moment faster, the next slower. That's the beauty of CNC. Precise, even and perfect. Every line, every curve emerges from the wood exactly as it was designed. The sound that is heard now is the real sound of wood cutting. Light, but powerful. Now we can see that the entire middle of the flower is done. The vacuum pipe is pulling the dust from the nozzle of the machine so that dust does not spread around while working. This part is the most delicate. Here the cutting depth per layer is only 0.5. and a small mistake means a design disruption. So every movement of the machine is controlled by software with millimeter precision. Now comes the leaf shapes. Look, the veins of each leaf are coming out beautifully. At this time we can see the tool is turning in one direction and then suddenly changes the angle and goes in the opposite direction. In this way, the CNC is creating depth like light and shadow from every direction. Gradually, the entire design comes alive on the wood. The cutting process is now about 70% complete. The operator is carefully watching to see if there is any extra cutting. Sometimes, if there is a small error, the machine stops instantly. That is the safety feature of CNC. At this time, we see the machine stopping in one place and then resuming its path, as if the entire job is perfect. Now that the entire flower part is finished, the machine is going to the border. The border carving begins. It creates a kind of frame around the edge of the wood. Once the frame is finished, the whole design looks brighter and more professional. After the machine is finished, we will see that a magnificent three-dimensional design has been created on the wood, as if handmade, yet with complete mechanical perfection. That's the end of this episode. In the next part, we'll see how the design is further refined through finishing and polishing. Rotated. If everything is okay, we now press the start button. CNC machine starts up. First, the spindle rotates at high speed. The cutter slowly descends onto the board, and the first pass begins, cutting the wood from the very top layer. Notice that the machine head changes direction very steadily while the cutter is running, not even a millimeter off. In the first pass, the machine only cuts the outline of the design, the outer part of the flower, and the outline of the leaves. At this time, the smell of wood is spreading. Fine dust is swirling in the air. A dust collector is set next to the machine to keep the workspace clean. The machine is slowly moving forward on each part of the board, as if an artist is painting with a brush. Now the second pass begins. This time the machine cuts deeper, the design becoming clearer. If you look at the screen, the center of the flower in the middle of the board is slowly taking on a three-dimensional shape. You can tell where the deep cuts are, going by the rhythm of the machine's sound. Now the layers are forming, beautifully across the entire board, as if the design is emerging from within the wood. In the first 10 minutes, we only saw the basic cutting and outline finishing. In the next part, we will see how CNC machines create fine curves and micro details. Now the machine stops for a few seconds. The tool will be changed. Work will begin on the next part with a finer tool. Now begins the dry run, or preview run, meaning the machine will go over the entire design without any cutting. At this point, you will see that the tool is moving rapidly over the wood, but is not cutting any wood. This helps us understand whether the alignment of the design file and the machine is exactly right. If the design goes outside the borders in any place, we adjust the settings. Dry run is over, everything is fine. Now it's time to change tools. First, we are using the flat end mill. This tool is mainly used to smooth the surface or clean the background. The operator is changing the tool manually, and now we see the tool being clamped tightly in the spindle. Now in the software we are setting the spindle speed about 16,000 RPM and the feed rate to 600 millimeters per minute. After checking all the settings, the machine's start button will be pressed. The machine's motor started. A light hum, then a slow rotation. Watch the tool descend onto the wood, the first layer being cut. The machine will cut at a very shallow depth in this layer, so that the surface of the wood remains smooth. After each pass, the machine will rise again, starting the next line. In this way, the entire background area is cleaned evenly. See, Now most of the background has been cut out. Now we will change the tool. This time we will use the ball nose end mill, rotated. In today's video, we'll see how a CNC machine creates amazing designs on wooden boards. From the very beginning, setup, design, and cutting, everything is done in real time. This machine is computer controlled, meaning it will cut exactly what we design onto the board. First, we place the board on the machine bed. Notice that the wood is about ½ an inch thick, and it is being held tightly in place by the machine's clamps. If the clamps are not tight, the board can move while the machine is working, which will ruin the design. Now we load the design file on the computer. The software screen shows a flower pattern, a large round blossom in the middle, with delicate leaves around it. We imported this design into CNC router software, such as ArtCam or VCarve Pro. Now we are setting the tool path, that is, how deep a place will be cut, what tool will be used, and what speed will be used. For cutting, we will use a 6mm ball nose end mill cutter. This cutter is great for fine designs. After installing the tool on the machine, we set the Z-axis, height, so that the cutter starts at the correct distance from the wood surface. Now, by simulating in the software, you can see how the design will be made in wood. The entire 3D view can be rotated. Friends, today we will look at a technology that turns ordinary pieces of wood or board into works of art. The CNC machine. CNC stands for Computer Numerical Control. That is, the entire machine runs under the instructions of the computer. Today we will see how a wooden design is created from the very beginning. And in the end, that piece of wood becomes a perfect work of art. This machine is run by a computer program. The operator creates a design in CAD software, which is then converted into CAM software. The CAM software converts the design into code that the machine can understand, called G-code. Before starting the design, the wood or board needs to be prepared. The board can be MDF, plywood, or solid wood. First, the surface of the wood is smoothed, then it is clamped tightly on the machine bed. Now the design created in the CAD software is being set on the machine. The size, depth, and cutting speed of the design are determined. Once the setup is complete, the machine router or cutter head starts working automatically. This is the most fun part. Watch how the spindle moves around and over the wood, creating amazing designs. This work is done entirely under computer control, with absolute precision. The accuracy of the machine at this stage is extremely important. The slightest mistake can ruin the design. Look, a flower design is slowly emerging. It's actually digital art created by humans, but in reality, it's being created by machines. After the design is complete, the finishing work begins. The excess parts are cut off from the wood, smoothed with sandpaper. Then it is painted, polished, or laminated, so that the design looks more attractive. A simple piece of wood has now become a work of art. These designs are used in furniture, door panels, interior design, and even decoration. Safety is very important when working on CNC machines. Always wear goggles, ear protection, and gloves. Never handle the machine while it is running. Clean the machine and back up the software at the end of each day. Look, here are beautiful designs one after another. Door patterns, wall panels, artwork, even nameplates. Each design is unique because each is created with the help of perfect technology. How did you like today's CNC wood design journey? Let us know in the comments, and if you want to see more videos like this, like, subscribe,